Ladies and gentlemen, the following is a conversation with Puneet Kharb. Commissioned as a lieutenant straight out of college and later serving as a captain in the Indian Army, his journey is marked by discipline, purpose, and a quiet strength that stays with you long after a conversation ends. After his years in uniform, he entered into the world of IT, bringing with him the same clarity, resilience, and leadership skills that defined his military life. He is someone who holds himself to high standards without ever needing to say them out loud. His fitness journey speaks to that mindset. He is someone who used to cycle for more than 100 kilometers within a day, not for medals, not for praise, but simply because who he is. For me, he has been a guide, a mentor, who has consistently shaped how I think about life, efforts, and what it takes to be a better human being. And I believe that there is something in this for you too. I hope you enjoy this conversation. Thank you so much, sir, for doing this podcast. So, the very first question will be that, sir, now as you're working in the IT industry and you were an army officer before, how has your life changed now that you're working in IT industry?
Okay, so life has changed quite significantly. Earlier, I used to be busy, more occupied in day-to-day things, more commitments. As compared to where I am now, I am relatively getting more time for myself, for my family. In terms of work, I am entirely doing a different thing, but my learning from army stays, and it is helping me immensely. Eventually, a man is the kind of experience he has had, he becomes that. So I have had very good experiences and taken things in a very positive spirit. So those lessons go a long way, and yeah, eventually I'm happy.
So, sir,
Yeah.
you were doing, sir, engineering before. How come did you take this decision that you want to come into army, completely changing your careers?
I had not pre-planned any of these things. I did engineering because everyone around was going to engineering colleges, so I also went, figured out, explored life over there, made friends, but did not get much inclined at that point of time for going for IT sector, corporate world. So I thought, let me try something different. Though I got placed, but placement letter got delayed with 6 months, and in the meantime, I started reading humanities subjects with with an objective to clear UPSC Civil Services examination, and then I found that a course interesting. Continued on that path, appeared for CDS, eventually cleared it. Then few of my friends were in army at that time, and spoke to them. They told me how life is in army, and I liked the overall picture. Thought that it is worth exploring, and then I went and joined army. Earlier, I had no intention of joining. I never had this goal that I want to become an army officer and all. But as life would happen, and yeah, I was there, enjoyed my time. Then I was a short service commissioned officer. So I thought that, yeah, I've seen this life. Let me explore some other dimensions, other parts. So as I was a computer science graduate, so there's a good opportunity for in IT field also. So I took this call that let us leave it here. Eventually, I would have taken retirement after 10 years. So I decided why not take it now, along with some family emergencies. Family situation was such that I was not able to stay. I was not able to manage my personal and professional life because commitments at home were increasing, and it's not fair that you are not able to give your 100% and you are still there. So I thought, let's put a pause to this army career and let me explore other things so that I can fulfill my other commitments as well.
Since you have mentioned that a lot of people just pursue a degree just because a lot of people are pursuing that, so that is some kind of a rat race. So, sir, what do you
Yeah,
and that is not only confined to engineering, but that is also for different
all across.
examinations also, and for a lot of things in life. So, sir, why do you think that happens, and how to get out of this rat race?
See, there are very few people whom I have encountered so far, like who are very, very clear from the very starting that this is what I want to do. And there are very few people, and the environment is such, our social setup is such, it doesn't provide you the liberty of thought. It makes you fall into that it makes you run into that rat race, and precisely because of which one is not able to think beyond it. I see. This is what I have analyzed. There are very few people who would be very clear from the very starting, and there's nothing wrong in not being clear. But then at some stage, one should have that clarity. It eventually comes to a lot of people, but then depends at what time you are getting that clarity. Some people are conscious from the very school only. You might have also seen when you were in school, there must be one or two kids who would be like very clear, this is what I want to do. Yeah, so there's nothing wrong in not being clear at early stages, but then what I believe, one should keep doing self introspection. That actually helps you a lot in figuring out what you exactly want in life. And it's better if you start doing it early, start thinking about life, that what I want, what I like, what I don't like, how I want my life to be like. And then these thoughts will eventually lead into making wise decisions which are more sustainable. So that's what I think.
So, sir, eventually it lands out to you defining what your purpose in life is, and
You necessarily doesn't need to every time define that what is your purpose. You never know what you end up doing was your purpose, I believe. It is something to be looked in retrospect, that this is what I did and this was probably my purpose. So because there is nothing absolute, that this is how it is meant to be. It's very random, it's very dynamic for everyone. If you see, take any great personality, let's take Mother Teresa for example. When she was born or when she was in her teenage, something like that, she might not have thought to become Mother Teresa, or she did not know that yes, this is my purpose, now I am labeled to do this. She felt it from inside that yes, this is something which I should be doing, and she devoted her life. But this whole discussion of defining things for yourself before them happening and just sticking to it, I don't think it makes sense. So one should not be labeling that this is my purpose. No, you should just feel that what is something what you need to do or what you feel like doing, and then do it and then see it in retrospect. Yes, this is what I did. Probably that was my purpose. Or let others define that this guy did that. That he made this thing purpose of his life, and he devoted his life towards that. But if you ask that person that are you going to define it for yourself, I don't think they will be able to. But then they just strongly feel the need of doing something and then they do it. So labeling should not be there. That's what I want to say.
okay, sir. Sir, what I used to think that in order for you to reach your aim, your why should be very clear. That why do you want to reach that aim, or and that eventually led to what is your purpose for doing that thing. So, if we do not need to define that purpose, or if we do not need to label that purpose, how shall we go towards that aim? What shall be our motivation to reach that aim? Let's say that you yourself, for example, wanted to get into army. What was that reason uh, for you to get into army, or is it even necessary to have a reason? Sh- Can just money initially be that I want to earn more money, and this seems like a very nice path which will give me respect into the society and which will also be suitable for me. So let's just do it without thinking too much.
So you yourself answered it in your answered the question in first half, and you said why should be clear. Absolutely, why should be clear that why do you want to pursue something. I do not think money should be a standard. Yes, money is important. Money is very important because a lot of things depend on how much do you earn, your livelihood, how do you earn your livelihood. But then, if you see it in sustainable terms, because money is something which you will acquire or gather over a period of time if you get into a profession. But then, what I see mostly that money always does not bring happiness with it. So if the reason of why is clear and it is not materialistic, I would say, if the reason is not materialistic, then it will be more sustainable. Like you enjoy doing what you want to do. Right. When I got into army, money was certainly not the reason. When I asked my friend, it can be as silly as anything. I would call it silly only. I asked my friends, "Do you get time for yourself? Do you get to travel a lot? Do you get to meet new people?" And all the answers were yes. Time is an exception, but then let it be. Everything has its pros and cons. But then it was as simple as that. My friend told me, yes, you get to meet a lot of people, you get to move around places, there'll be different postings every 2 years, you'll get to see whole of India, mostly whole of India. So,
So the reason why I asked this question about purpose is because I see some of the people around me, and let's just take the example of my teachers only. They are earning good in their lives, but when I look at them, they just come in classes, they just deliver their lectures, which students are not able to really understand. Students hate them, and the professors also kind of get this vibe that they are not really being liked by the students, but they are earning money. And that led me to thinking that if your purpose is only to earn money and you end up at a place where you are earning money, that they are earning money now, so you should be defining the next purpose of your life so that you do not remain stuck over there. So I thought that that is the reason that why you need to have a clear definition of what you want out of your life, and maybe not getting remaining stuck at a place which seems like a little comfortable to you.
see, it depends on person to person what you eventually want in life. Everyone doesn't want to explore. People, most of the people want stable life also, and there's nothing wrong with it. Eventually, you should be happy at the end of the day. And if you are not happy, you should do something about it. But then there are people who don't want to do anything about it. So, and I say, who are we to comment about it, right? We need to think about ourselves. If some teacher is coming to the class and students are not liking it, it's probably the student's problem or the teacher's problem. Why is he not being liked, or does he even want to be liked? I don't know. I mean, most of the people do, but then there are people who doesn't think about all these aspects. They have just made their life mundane and they are fed up from life. I don't know why, but then it's up to them. We should be thinking about ourselves that what do we exactly want. If I take my personal example, because that's what I can best speak on behalf of. I want to be happy and satisfied at the end of the day. And what I think how my life should be, I should be taking actions into that direction so that I can be satisfied and happy. If being stable in a job, being stable in a lifestyle makes me happy, and you come and tell me that you are not exploring, so I would say probably in a very blunt way that you should mind your own business. Right? I'm happy in my life. I wanted a stable life. I don't mind going to the same office every day, coming back at the same time, seeing my family. Because your needs and your expectations from life also change from time to time. Right? Like when you are in college right now, you might love traveling a lot. But 10 years down the line, when you will have family of your own, you will have kids, you will have parents to be taken care of, they will be entering the old age, then probably at that point of time you would feel like that no, I don't want to travel so much, I want to stay at home, I want to enjoy my time with my wife, with my parents, with my kids. Then that is the thing which will give you happiness, right? So it varies with different stages in life. So you should be clear. You should be, again, I would say, self-introspection helps a lot in these things. You should be thinking continuously that where am I going and what do I want, and if I am taking some action in that direction, because action is must. If you will stay at one particular place in your life and will not do anything about it, then it's going to go downwards only. I heard a very famous, I heard thing from Kiran Bedi. I was listening to one of her interviews, and then she mentioned that she was told by her father that life is always on an inclined plane. Either you go up or you go down, you don't stay stagnant. So every time, since that time, when I heard this thing, probably I think 10, 15 years back, this thought has continuously been is in my mind. I always keep looking at myself that if I'm going up or I'm going down, because this illusion will come into your head that okay, let's stay put where we are and not do anything. But then, as per the principle, it's on an inclined plane. You can't be at one place. Either you go up. If you not move up, then you'll move down, and that's how it is. It's with everyone. So do something. I mean, don't stay put at one place without doing anything. Take some action and do something. Think. And I'm a firm believer of hard work. Because luck, destiny, fate, I think these are all English words, and they don't mean anything till the time you put in some hard work into it. If luck is there with you, it will be there, no one can stop it. If destiny has something to do with it, it will do its thing. You can't control these things, but what you can control is what you do. So you should be putting in action.
So, sir, in order for you to go upwards in your life, in order for you to reach your aim, do you have to be dissatisfied from where you are right now? Because if you are satisfied, that would mean that you're comfortable at the place where you are at and you don't want to leave that place. So, does satisfaction need to be introduced in your life only after a certain stage?
No, dissatisfaction is a very strong word, I would say. And yeah, satisfaction will be there once you achieve something, once you achieve some milestone, something good comes your way, you will be satisfied. But then moving upwards in your life has to be seen from a completely different point of view. It should not, satisfaction and dissatisfaction should not be put into the same picture along with moving up or down, right? Satisfaction will be there, dissatisfaction will be there, and but that is entirely a different thing, because life as a whole is very big, and then there are different dimensions to life, right? Professional life is just one part, personal life is there, your mental health is there. Life has various aspects to it, right? It's not only a professional life. And satisfaction I see as happiness, and dissatisfaction I see as an opportunity to introspect, to reflect upon what you did. So when you say I'm dissatisfied, then probably you will become sad over it, right? But when you say this is an opportunity to reflect upon what you did, then you would actually see that okay, this is something which I did not do right. What should I have done, or how could I have done it better? So that next time, whenever some similar situation is there, you have a lesson from your past, and you can do it the desired way in order to get the desired result. So that's just how you should be thinking. When you say I'm dissatisfied, that's a full stop after it, and you stay dissatisfied. You'll not do anything about it. You just cry over it, which will not lead to anything good. But when you say that yes, I should sit for a while, look back and see how did it go, how could have it gone in a better way. So that's how you should think. And then, as I was saying, life has different aspects to it, right? There's professional life, there's personal life, there's your health, there's your family, there's your friendship circle, your social life as well. So you cannot make your professional life all about it. you have to give it a limited time of energy and time and thought, and derive a limited amount of happiness from it. Because it's not that if you are getting promoted every day, you have your desired job, or you are getting some desired amount, x amount of money in your bank account as a salary every month. That's all about it. You cannot be all about it. You should think that yes, it's okay, I'm doing fairly well, but then you should have a peaceful and happy life at your home also, right? You have to think about it as well, because it cannot be, if your mom is not talking to you and if you are earning 3 4 5 lakh rupees per month, then you will not say that yes, I am the happiest person, because that thought will be continuously at the back of your head that my mom is not happy with me. Or let's say I had a fight with a good friend of mine yesterday, he is upset with me, so you can't be happy. So happiness, you cannot confine happiness with just one aspect, right? All the aspects have to be ticked, and all, you should have satisfaction or should be doing good in all the aspects. And yeah, so you should see it as a sum of all of them, not just one part, right? And then you apply the same logic that yes, all your relations are good, all your health aspect is good, you are mentally happy, and even if something is lagging behind some one part, then you would say that yes, it's okay, not that big of a deal. Because see, if you see it very objectively, then let's say for example there are 10 things to be taken care of, 9 are perfectly fine. If one is not working well, then you would say it's okay, there is only a little part of it which is not working fine, which I will make it right, but then yes, 9 parts are completely okay. So it's not that big of a tension. But you, if you will make everything about just one thing, that my life and my happiness and everything depends on just one thing, then you can never be happy, man. Because see, we cannot control all our actions or everything around us. So how can we expect others and all of the world to act as per our own wish? It can never happen, right? So you should just take a chill pill for a little while, that yes, it's okay if everything is not fine. Let's look back and work upon it.
So, sir, happiness comes from balance of various aspects of your life, but these days, sir, on internet and in the self-help culture, there is a very hustle culture which is going on, that you should just focus on one thing and you should completely devote your time to that thing. So, what do you think about that? Should we hustle or grind so much that we should completely give the backseat to all of the other aspects of our life and completely focus on one thing till that thing is reached?
See, first of all, internet is the biggest distraction. It's the best and the worst thing what is happening to the mankind and to the young generation probably, because there is so much of knowledge and exposure, and at the same time there is so much of idealism that your body should look like this, you should be earning this much by when you enter this particular age, this is the minimum car which you should have, this is the minimum bank balance you should have, this is how you should dress. There is so much of idealism about everything. So, and everyone cannot match all those standards, right? So we should not, again, it's a rat race only probably, which I would say I think people are falling into. And you should not judge yourself from all those parameters which others are setting for you. Like you must have heard, if you judge the ability of a fish by if it can climb the tree or not, then obviously fish will fail because it is meant to swim, right? So parameters you should not look at only. It's fine if it is there, you can just have a look-see at it, but don't need to enforce all those things upon yourself. That's about internet. And second thing, what did you say? Sorry, I forgot.
Sir,
What was the other part of it?
about sir completely focusing on one thing and completely hustling and grinding
Yeah.
over that thing.
So, okay. So there are different phases in life what I feel what you should be focusing upon. Like if you're a school student and you have your final board exams, so obviously you will be devoting much time on that part. That's what you should be doing, right? If you are a married person, let's say, and you have kids at your home, you have your kids, and they are of a very young age. So you should be devoting a good amount of time to them also. At that point of time, I don't think it would be much sensible that you say that yes, I want to go on an outing with my friends every other day because I want my mental health to be good, or I want to have a good social circle of mine. I want to go to parties. I don't think that makes much sense because you are more required at home with your kids probably at that time, because that time will not come again when your kids are very young. And one definitely enjoys that part. One should not be missing out on that. So there are different phases, and you have to be wise enough to see that where am I required at this point of time, and or what you asked in context with that, you should be very clear about the fact that where I need to put my energy at this point of time. Like if you have your exams, you should not, ideally, you should not be going out on a trip. You should be studying, right? If you have a summer break, then you can plan your trip. So you need to prioritize things, right? Prioritize in terms of time, prioritize in terms of your energy. That what should I be focusing upon? What should I be hustling about? That again comes from a lot of self-introspection. I cannot tell you every time, and that will not work also. But you have to become wise enough. You would see in initial years of schooling, your mom and dad will tell you that you need to study. You would insist that no, I want to go out play. Because that time you are not that mature. You are just a kid. You don't know what is the importance of what. But as you grow in age, you are expected to be that mature, that you should be able to at least prioritize very basic things, that what is the time to play, what is the time to study, right? If you would do that, you would achieve good things. If you will be mismanaging your time, then you know how that ends up, right?
So, sir, eventually all of these things end up to self-introspecting yourself to a level that you would know that what do you want out of life or what should you be prioritizing upon. So now the questions become, sir, that how do you self-introspect upon yourself? One of the very easiest way, which most of the people tell us, that you should start to journal, you should write your thoughts down, and then you should see what really is happening. But is there some other way than journaling, or is journaling the best way to self-introspect?
I cannot say that what is the best way to journal. No, what is the best way to self-introspect, because I know writing down things helps a lot. It makes things very clear, and but I am certainly not the right person, because I can tell you what I did. I just used to think. I never jotted down anything, and people do tell that you should journal, and definitely I also believe that that must be a good way, but I have not done it. I just used to think that what do I like, what I do not like. I used to think a lot. Still I do think a lot about so many things, that keep thinking that what if this, what if not this, then probably talk to like-minded people, and lot of observation around that this guy is doing this thing which will lead to this thing, or this what he did which made him end up at that place, and what all circumstances, and just a lot of observation around. That certainly helps to clear your mind, or make you understand things a little better.
So, sir, when we look at people who are successful, especially in this internet world, that as you have said, that we try to see people as idols, that this is what I want to become like, or so we start to develop jealousy inside us, sir, that these are the people who have got success so easily, or this person has become so much successful. So, rather than learning from them, sometimes what happens is that you become so much jealous and you become so much bitter that you do so much back to yourself. So, how do we not get jealous of someone, or how do we not feel the FOMO that I'm missing out on so many things by seeing them on internet? Or people are getting so many things so much easily, and I have to work so much hard, so it's unfair. They become cynic and bitter and full of jealousy.
Okay, so first of all, I don't think there's any point to feel jealous about if someone is getting something, right? You should not feel jealous at all. I never felt that, so I do not know why do people feel it. I always always had and probably still have a very curious mind. So when someone achieves something or someone gets somewhere where I have not been, so I generally look at from a curious point of view. That what did he do to go there? I just want to know because I do not have any clue. I do not know how to go there. So I'll not be jealous. I'll be curious. And then to satisfy that curiosity, I'll talk. I'll talk to him. I'll talk to others that how to reach there. How did that guy manage doing this? Then I would come to know. Then I would put in my efforts into that. And then I don't think jealousy should at all be coming into play. If someone is feeling jealous, then I would say they need to really work upon themselves, because jealousy is a very strong feeling, and which is certainly not a good feeling, and it does more harm to you than to anyone else. So one should not be thinking like that. If you have a curious mind, if you have a stable mind, and moreover if you are focusing upon yourself, then all these feelings take backstage. So I don't think that one should be feeling jealous at all. I mean, if you are curious, if you are self-focused, and if you have got some sort of plan for yourself, then jealousy will not come. Second thing you said that what did you say that
People start to make idols from internet, sir, and
that should not be done. Yeah, making idols from internet, because internet these days you can't comment on the authenticity of things. I can hire a expensive car, take some photos and videos in that, and then I'll show you that this is what I own, but you don't know my reality. Right? So internet is certainly not the right place, but then there are people who have really achieved something whom we are very certain of. Like you and me never went to US, you and me never went to Apple headquarters, but then we know Steve Jobs. We know what he did. Most of it can be contributed to the internet. What we came to know about him, and books are there. So if you take inspiration from such people, you should take inspiration from the fact that how did they act, in what all circumstances, and what all lessons they have learned in their life. When they share that, you should be taking learning from that, and that you should be idealizing. Because Steve Jobs has been there. You cannot become another Steve Jobs. But what you can do is draw lessons from his life, that this is how he handled himself in times of adversity, or this is how he managed his success, or this is something what he did extremely good, this is what is something did not so good, right? So you can take lessons from that, but then idealizing to that extent that you want to become just exact replica of someone, I don't think one should be even thinking or trying to do that, because everyone is very unique and everyone has their own set of capabilities. So you should be focusing upon that part rather than just trying to replicate yourself with someone else.
So, sir, following to the jealousy, there are some feelings other than that jealousy, but in the same category, which is ego. So, once you reach a certain point in your life, which most of the people around you consider that you have done something significant, you start to feel that you are somehow superior than those people, and you start to have that ego inside you, and that ego. And then there is another thing, which is reputation, that you want to build your reputation around people. So my question to you, sir, is that it is very obvious that ego is a bad thing. How to get rid of that? And is reputation a good thing? Is status in your society a good thing? And is it something worth striving for? Is it something which you should focus on? That what is your reputation around people? And if so, then how should we build that?
Okay. So first of all, let's address ego. Ego is certainly not a good thing. What you have mentioned, like you mentioned, right? And uh, I actually did again. I would say bring in on the same thoughts that I did a lot of self-introspection, a lot of thinking about the fact that what to feel ego for. Like if I'm tall and I should become an if I am an egoistic guy, that I'm a tall guy and you are a short-heighted person, then I think it's a very wrong thing, because I have certainly no contribution in making myself tall. Right? These were some genes, some permutation combination they come into play, about which I'm totally unaware of and about which I cannot do anything. So I became tall. I feel one can feel some ego about that thing which he has done by himself. One is probably entitled to some extent to feel egoistic about that, but to feel egoistic about those aspects which he has no role to play in, that's totally, I would say, nonsense. And coming on to the second part, what I said, one is entitled to, that I just said because that I can understand, that if he is feeling egoistic about his money, probably he has earned it. But then if you look very wisely about this aspect also, I do not think anything what you do or not do you should be feeling egoistic about, because eventually it is a very big plan of the Almighty about that he is as per the wish of him, all these things are happening. So, and if you feel ego about it, then you are doing wrong to you, because if mostly what do people feel egoistic about is money only. And we all know, as we say in our culture, that ये बस हाथ का मैल है, because today it is there, tomorrow it might not be there. And we all know, we all have seen so many people around us who were nothing and they gathered a lot of money, and who had a lot of money just went like that, right? So what to feel ego for? Eventually a person is known by the character, or by the aptitude he has, what contribution he is doing to the society, and to some extent what reputation he has. Reputation again the comes from the fact that what kind of social behavior you have and what contributions are you making to the society. So ego is not something which I say that one should be having at any point. And if you see in longer run, everyone is going to die, right? So what you feel ego for is going to stay here. You will not take it with you. You cannot take anything with you, and you did not bring anything with yourself. So if you see on a larger set, you did not bring anything, you are not going to take anything, so nothing is yours. Then if you see that way, if you do not have anything or nothing belongs to you, so can you be egoistic then? No. You did not bring any money, whatever. These all things are very temporary. These all things are very momentary. That today money is there with you, tomorrow it might not be there. What is your lifespan? Even at max, you can say 100 years. For 100 years you had something with you, and then it will not be there with you anymore. So if you think that way, and as we all know, we are not this body. We should not be identifying ideally with body, but then we start making this mistake of identifying ourselves with the body. Then this ego develops. Ego to some extent is good also, because then we get attached to things, and certain attachment is good as well if you want to live a social life, because if everyone will become like that, then social life will not be possible. So ego to some extent, like if you have some attachment with your family, with your friends, with work, then we are able to live the social life. If everyone will become that I do not have any ego and I do not want anything, then this social play will not be possible, right? But then we should know to what extent. What ego generally is defined as in social parlance is certainly not good. So, and you should obviously think in a larger frame of time, that you did not bring anything, nothing is yours, you're not going to take anything. So, there's no point of ego. Just live as simply as you can, because everything is here, it will stay here. It's not yours basically. This body is also not yours. So, what to talk about some other thing? When this body itself, we do not identify ourselves with the body, then this, if you more you speculate about this thought, that who are you, what are you, and what you are not, probably that is more important, what you are not. If you speculate on this aspect, that what you are not, then things will become more clear, and then this materialistic aspect of life will start moving away, and then you will have that sense of detachment from most of the materialistic things, and then you will be more peaceful. Second thing what you said about reputation. Reputation is, I mean, no one works to make the reputation, right? You should do what you feel right, and if that brings some good reputation, that's good. If that brings some bad reputation, then that's probably also good, because you can't control what others think about you, but what you can certainly control is what you think is the right thing to do. And if you see, if when earlier there used to be sati practice, so if someone would say, someone would revolt that sati is not good, then what reputation he would be having? He would be having a bad reputation, right? Or let's say this, what do you call, practice of untouchability was there, right? So if someone is opposing untouchability, what kind of reputation he would have? He would have a bad reputation. But then they felt that this is not the right thing. They did not think about their reputation. So if you, and how did they get paid back? Probably not in a good way. They were criticized, they were punished for that. But now we praise them. So it just depends upon the times where you are living, and yeah, it mostly depends on that part. But then you should not be acting based on the fact that how others are going to perceive you, because you can't control that. Today you might think that I will be thinking good of you if you do this thing, but what if I do not? Then you are my puppet. You will act as per my wish, or thinking me, keeping me in mind, you'll do everything, and which will eventually lead to you being unhappy. So once you have thought a lot about the aspect that what is the right thing, what you should be doing, that as per me, this makes sense, this is logical, and yeah, this is my nature, this is who I am. I'll act like this. If others appreciate, that's good. If they don't, that's also good probably. But then you are a free man. You did what you felt like doing, and that will bring you satisfaction also.
So, sir, you mentioned about detachment, but
Yeah.
we also have to be attached in order to live in this society. So, there is a thin line that you shouldn't be getting very much attached, but you should be attached to a certain extent. So, how do we make sure that we are not attached very much to the people or to anything? Let's say to even our goals also.
You should see that how much time and energy you are putting onto something, right? And if you reflect upon, like I mentioned earlier, that life is a sum of lot of things, lot of aspects. If you start analyzing it in those terms, and you reflect on this aspect, that who you are not, then things will become more clear, and they will bring more stability in your life. Like I'll give you one example. If you start thinking that, I cannot exactly comment on that part because everyone has their own point of views. I have my point of view, but what I would summarize it to is the fact that, again, lot of self introspection, lot of thought process if you put into this aspect, that what you should be attached to. Like, did you create something over here? Did you create something? You are not the creator. Creator is someone else. And so if you did not create anything, so you cannot claim it to be yours, right? So if it is not yours, how can you go on boasting around that it is yours? It's with you. That's perfectly fine. You are the owner of a car. That's fine. You paid for it. You got it. But did you create it from very scratch? Did you made the metal? Did you make the rubber which is used in tires? Did you combine it together? No. So you are not the creator. But fine, you are the owner of it. Because you paid for it, you got it, you use it. You know that it will run for 10, 15, 20 odd years. What is the utility of that thing? To take you from place A to place B. That's the utility. But every time throughout the day, if you are thinking about your car, you want to sleep in your car, you want to wash it daily, is it doing anything good to you? People will start calling you crazy. You go keep telling everyone that I am the creator, I am the owner of this car, this is my car, this is my car. You know what will people call you? A lunatic, right? But if you are sensible enough that no, I am the owner of the car, so is everyone around me. And there are many people who do not have cars also. So I am privileged also that I was able to pay for this, and I can use the facility which it is providing. That what is the utility? You are very clear about it. Then just keep it to that part, right? When you are sitting with your friends, you are not thinking about car. When you are eating, when you are sleeping, you are not thinking about your car. You're thinking about your car once you have to go from place A to place B. You know, the key is in my pocket, I'll switch it on, it will take me to some place. That's all about it. That's how you should be thinking about everything, right? You talked about goals. You know what is my goal. I have to clear certain exam. I have to get into some job, right? When you are studying, you make a plan for yourself that this is what is required to be done in order to secure that particular thing. I will do it. I will study for that many number of hours. I'll study all these subjects. I'll do this thing. That's all about it. What's the point thinking about it day and night, while sleeping, while eating, while you are with friends? You are ruining the fun of everything else if you are thinking about just one particular thing throughout the day. So see, this is a practice which comes after a lot of self-persuasion, I would say, because it's not an easy thing to persuade yourself, and that too against a very general belief what we have been brought up since childhood and what we see around us. So it's very difficult, and it comes after a lot of time, because this belief has been built in, let's say you're 20, 22 years old. So in 22 years you are brought up with a certain belief and you see it all around yourself, and then you are telling that no, this is not right, this is how I need to change the way I think, how I've been thinking from 22 years. So then it will take some time. But once it starts settling in, I mean, I'm just saying, it's not that I have become perfect. I also keep telling these things to myself every other day, that keep things to a level till the time they are, until the place where the point of time where they are required, not beyond it. So these things help. Yeah.
So, sir, if we tell to some people that everything which we are having, nothing belong to us, and when we will die, it will all go away, and it's just temporary all around us. So, what is the real thing which we should pursue for, that thing will be permanent, and maybe all of these things which we are doing, if they are not ours, then like again, what's the purpose?
See, it's a very big question to which I am also trying to find the answer. That's the reality. But till now, what I have come to understood is certainly what we do every day and what we are mostly worried about, that's not the purpose. That is something what I'm very clear about, that if you do some job, if you live your life like this, then your purpose is solved. So that's not the thing, because this has been happening since ages and everyone is doing the same thing. So we do not know, because I did not make myself. So who has made me would know the purpose, if there would be any. But what I feel, what is the basic nature of a human, or what is your basic nature, why you are made. See, like, let's take another one very random example. What is the purpose of a car?
It is
Car,
it
tell
is for
me.
you to it is a convenience for you to go from place A to place B in a convenient
Yeah,
manner.
yeah. If you ask it to cook for you, can it do?
No, sir.
Car can only drive itself, or you can drive the car and move you from place A to place B, right? That's the purpose of a car, because you made the car for that purpose, right? That's the nature of the car. If car would have some conscious of its own, so that would car would know that I can do this only. We have got our conscience with ourselves. We should explore that. And what is the basic nature of a human? You only know what is your nature. And what you feel is the right thing to do that. And what you feel is not so much right thing to do, don't do it. So that's what I feel must be the purpose, if you call it purpose at all. But I do not think that God would have labeled every one of us with some purpose. If we should explore our basic nature, we should try to look more inside than outside. If we want to know what is the purpose, we should look more inside. Then we would come to know more about ourselves. Then only we will be able to figure out that yes, this is what I feel I should do in whatever terms. And we should be actively contributing to the society in a positive way, help each other, happiness, kindness, because these things are very universal. These things give the most amount of satisfaction and makes earth more livable and a happy place. So I feel we should be doing that only, or whatever contributes to that. And yeah, but certainly I do not think anyone in this human form like you and me can label that this is the purpose. And neither do I think we should be harping more upon this fact to find what is my purpose. There is no point. Just look inside yourself.
Sir, the reason why I was asking so many questions about purpose was because we used to have some spiritual classes at our university, and we first year students used to go over there, and our aim was pretty much defined, at least for the short term, that we, by the end of the fourth year, we want to end up at a good place, we want a good placement and everything. So, the person who was giving lectures, he asked us one question, that what if you were to die tomorrow? And would your will you die in a unsuccessful way, or your purpose will not be solved in everything? So do you think about death, sir? Do you think that uh, like, what if death was to come tomorrow, and would you be like happy, or would you be satisfied that okay, I've lived my life in that way in which I wanted?
It's not, if death has to come, it has to come. What can you do about it? It comes to everyone, right? And if it will come, it will come. I'll be happy probably that the day of liberation has come, liberation from this body. And there is nothing, I would say, again, all this talk of purpose, and I find it completely nonsense. And if you ask if death has to come tomorrow, then just let it be. I would say what I'm doing today, I would die doing the same thing tomorrow also, because it's an inevitable truth.
So, sir, now let's talk a little bit more about your army life. How was the experience over there like? What lessons did you learn from that? Because all of the army professionals seem like the so called gentlemen. So, how do you become like that?
Okay, so lessons from army, would I can say that first of all, I had a very good time. I made very good friends, and I learned the importance of hard work. That there is no substitute to hard work. And as that popular saying goes, that hard work never goes in vain. It truly never goes in vain. It certainly pays off. And second, I learned to be more humble over there, because initially when you go for training, your ego is crushed uh, beneath the earth crust. So that was one thing. But later on, when I got commissioned and joined my unit, then also a lot of experiences helped me to learn the importance of humility, and that I still carry with me. Another is I learned the I learned a very good value. I would not say exactly learned, but I learned the importance of it, of staying very integral to your work and staying honest to your work. Those were other things which I still carry with myself, and I'll always carry. That there has to be certain pride and honesty for your work. If you'll be honest, you will be very proud about it. And integrity has to be there no matter what you do. You should be very much very straightforward in what you are doing, and you should do it with all your heart. That's what I learned. And yes, another very important lesson I learned is the value of teamwork. But a good team can bring very beautiful, amazing results. And there's a different charm of working in a team. When you deal with those dynamics, it brings such beautiful colors to your work, and it definitely brings success. And then work itself it becomes a joyful thing to do. As they popularly say, right, that कर्म ऐसा करो कि करना ही फल लगे. So that is the fun of the teamwork. I best of the experiences what I had was with the team. And last but not least, I learned the importance of leadership. I was very fortunate to work with very amazing people, My seniors, I owe immensely to them. They were like idols, and though everyone had their own different style of working, but then I came to know how a true leader leads. He leads from the front, he leads by examples, he sets examples, he pushes everyone. Leader is someone who pushes everyone to explore, to bring the best in them. That's what a leader does. And as I said, I was very, very fortunate to work with such people, because of which I was able to see, explore myself, bring my best, and imbibe these things into myself and facilitate others to bring, to make them bring best in themselves, and that gets reflected eventually. So you come to know if you are doing the right thing or not, because whatever you do to others, they also respond, and from response you come to know that what you did it actually make sense, did it actually contribute in something positive. So that's what.
Okay, sir. So, sir, now we have come to the end of this podcast. Would you like to say something, or would you like to address the audience, or some end remarks for this?
I think I have said all. I have said a lot of things, and I can only say that one should try to self-introspect a lot. One should try to, what all topics you touched, I mean, they were all amazing. And if, like the point of ego, what you said, we should actually try to think that what we are not. And in the end, I would say there is a concise part of Gita. There was a chart at my place when I was a kid. It was hung in drawing room, in our living room, and by the name of Gita Sar. And in that it was written, तुम क्या लाए थे जो तुमने खो दिया, जो आज तुम्हारा है कल किसी और का था, कल किसी और का हो जाएगा, जो तुमने लिया यहीं से लिया, जो दिया यहीं पर दिया. सो परिवर्तन संसार का नियम है, ईश्वर सब देख रहा है. These were some lines written on that, and whenever I think about it, every time it makes sense. Every time it brings some different dimension to whatever situation I am in, and it helps me immensely in shunning away the ego also, and staying grounded, staying rooted, and figuring out the right thing. So yeah, that's all.
I cannot think that there can be a better end to podcast than this, sir. Thank you so much for taking out your time and doing this podcast with us, sir. We really, really do appreciate it. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, dear. Thanks. It was a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you, sir.